Part 189. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1881. Chapter 1881. I will make her pay the price. You are not RMB, so you can't be liked by everyone. It's because you are so nice that you attract people's jealousy. Alright. Xiao Mian accepted this reason. Now that you know who it is, have you thought about what to do with her? After Mo Yesi asked, he continued without waiting for her to answer, if you haven't thought of it, just leave it to me. Xiao Mian blinked and looked at him. How are you going to deal with it? You can no longer have such a dangerous person around you, Mo Yesi said with a cold look in his eyes. If she dares to do this to you, I will make her pay the price. You don't have to worry about this matter, I will let someone deal with it. Xiao Mian is not the virgin either. She and Song Ke were not related, but Song Ke almost ruined her reputation. Although Song Ke failed in the end, it was impossible for her to pursue nothing. She nodded, okay, then you can handle it. Mo Yesi thought there was one more thing he hadn't told her. Just now, some police officers found something else from Chen Lao's mouth. Mo Yesi hesitated for a while, but in the end he didn't tell Xiao Mian about it. If she knew that Chen Lao had the audacity to sneak into her room in the middle of the night under the instigation of others, she might really doubt her life. He didn't want her to be exposed to too many dark things at once. There are some things that he can just handle on his own. Asterisk. Soon, the food was on the table. Although Xiao Mian has been eating well on the show these days, her living expenses are limited and she cannot eat well. This meal is considered her big meal. She ate a lot. Mo Yesi just wanted to accompany her, and would only eat a few bites occasionally. At other times, he would either pick up vegetables and cook them for her, or watch her eat. Xiao Mian asked for leave and Zhao Yuan returned the phone to her. She ate for a while, and the cell phone on the table rang. She picked it up and looked at it, and suddenly she called out, Mo Yesi. Before Mo Yesi could ask her what was wrong, he saw her raising her head happily, looking extremely excited. She held his hand and said excitedly, Luoluo is pregnant. Mo Yesi, Luoluo is really pregnant. I'm going to have a nephew soon. Mo Yesi was startled, pregnant? Zhang Luli is pregnant. Yes, yes. Luoluo just sent me a WeChat message, saying that she went to the hospital for a checkup and was sure she was pregnant. I'm so happy and excited now, but it's a pity that I'm not in Yunqing, otherwise I could go see Luoluo right away. Zhang Luli is pregnant. Mo Yesi was also surprised. Is it my eldest brother's child? What are you talking about? Xiao Mian glared at him, very dissatisfied with what he said. Of course it belongs to the eldest brother. Who else could it be besides the eldest brother? I'm not questioning Zhang Luli, it's just that the news was so sudden, and I was also surprised. Does the eldest brother know about this? Xiao Mian nodded. Well, he was the one who accompanied Luoluo to the hospital for a checkup. Then what is his plan now? I haven't asked Luoluo yet. Wait a minute and I'll ask. Xiao Mian was immersed in typing out a line of text when news from Zhang Luli came over again. After reading it, she could not suppress her excitement and let out a small scream. Lolo and my eldest brother have received their marriage certificate. She has really become my sister-in-law now. Have they received the certificate? This matter was not surprising to Mo Yesi. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1882. Chapter 1882. Should I change my tune? This is in line with Mo Shixio's style of doing things. Zhang Luli is pregnant with a child, and Mo Shixio will definitely have a child. Since he wants a child, it is impossible for the child to be born in a single-parent family. So once Zhang Luli becomes pregnant, he will definitely marry Zhang Luli. What's more, he had already planned to marry Zhongluli regardless of whether she was pregnant or not. Now it's just that the time of marriage has been moved forward. Hearing the news, Mo Yesi was also very happy for Mo Shixiu. Mo Yesi, I'm so happy, Jiao Mian said excitedly, holding his hand before her emotions calmed down. This is indeed a happy event, Mo Yesi said with a smile, my best friend has become my sister-in-law. Isn't this a particularly beautiful thing for you girls? Well, it's very beautiful. No, I have to call Luoluo right away and ask again. Jiao Mian didn't even think about eating. After finishing speaking, she immediately called Zhongluli. Asterisk. The other side. Zhongluli had just finished drinking the bird's nest porridge that Sister Lin cooked for her. When she saw Jiao Mian calling, she immediately answered the call. Jiao Mian's excited voice sounded on the phone, Lolo, I just received your WeChat message. I'm so happy for you. The doctor said how many months old is the baby? Is it a boy or a girl? Zhongluli chuckled softly, the baby is less than 2 months old, and you can't tell the gender yet. Aren't you recording a show? Don't you have to put away your cell phone in that show? Why can you still call me? I didn't record the program today. Mo Yesi came to see me and I asked for a day off. Did the male come to see you? Zhongluli pursed his lips, smiled, and said, did he see the news? I knew that if the male saw it, he would definitely not trust you. Well, I'm eating out with him now. Lolo, have you and your eldest brother really obtained the certificates? There was a gentle knock on the door, and Sister Lin walked into the bedroom to collect the empty bowls. She also held a plate of cut fruits in her hand for Zhongluli to eat. Zhongluli reached out and touched his belly, and motioned to Sister Lin to put the fruit on the bedside table. After Sister Lin put it away, she turned and left the bedroom. Zhongluli took a peeled grape from the plate and put it into his mouth, and continued chatting with Jiao Mian, well, I got the certificate. I didn't want to get the certificate so early, but he had to get it today. Can you understand the gap between a young girl and a young woman? I haven't recovered yet. So, should I change my words? Jiao Mian joked, you are my sister-in-law now. Do I have to call you sister-in-law from now on? Zhongluli felt a little embarrassed when he was suddenly called sister-in-law. Baby. Luoluo, I'm really happy. I've been waiting for you to give birth to my little nephew. You are so good looking, and your eldest brother is also good looking. The baby you will give birth to in the future will definitely be very beautiful. It's best to be a little princess. So that I can buy her a lot of beautiful little dresses and hairpins. Zhongluli also hopes that what he is carrying is a daughter. She has lived in a family that values boys over girls since she was a child, and has never been truly loved by her parents. If she has a daughter in the future, she will definitely treat her like a princess and take good care of her. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1883. Chapter 1883. Do you like it or not? She will never let her daughter suffer any injustice. I also hope it's a girl, but whether it's a daughter or a son, I feel the same pain, baby. What about you? Me? Jiao Mian was obviously confused by her question. Me? When do you plan to have a baby? Have you and your boyfriend talked about this, or are you focusing on your career in recent years and don't want to have a baby for the time being? I'll just let it happen and let nature take its course. Okay. Anyway, the male is not old yet, so you can really wait a few more years. The two chatted for a while and hung up the phone. Just as Zhongluli put down his cell phone, the bedroom door was pushed open. She thought it was Sister Lin. Sister Lin, Don't get me any more food, I'm not hungry at all now. Really? I also bought some candied fruits that pregnant women are said to like. Is it for you to wait until you are hungry? The man's clear and pleasant voice was filled with a slight smile. Zhang Luli was startled. He raised his head and saw that the person who walked in was Mo Shixiu. He couldn't help but be startled again. Mo Shixiu, why are you back so soon? Mo Shixiu walked towards her with a bag in his hand. After walking to the bed, he sat down on the bedside and handed the bag in his hand to Zhang Luli. Well, I'll be back when I'm done. This is the candied fruit I bought for you. They all said that pregnant women like to eat this. Try it and see if you like it. As soon as Zhang Luli reached out and took the candied fruit, Mo Shixiu lowered his head and held her face, kissed her forehead gently, and said in a gentle voice, "How do you feel? Is there anything uncomfortable?" Zhang Luli was so surprised that the candied fruit she just took almost fell from her hand. She was stunned for a few seconds, then reached out and touched the place where Mo Shixiu had just kissed. Then she slowly raised her head, as if she had seen something incredible, and was extremely surprised. Mo Shixiu, I noticed that you have changed. Huh? Mo Shixiu slightly raised the corners of his lips. What has changed? You've become more proactive. Zhang Luli looked at the man's handsome face that made people's hearts beat wildly, and a smile overflowed from the corners of his lips. You weren't like this before. Did Assistant Su teach you this again? If there was no one to guide him behind his back, Zhang Luli wouldn't believe it. With Mo Shixiu himself, it is impossible for him to change all of a sudden without any reason. Really, do you think I've changed? Well, it's changed. Mo Shixiu smiled, his clear eyes full of softness. So, do you like this change or not? I like it. Zhang Luli didn't hesitate, put her arms around his neck, lowered his head, and kissed the corner of his slightly cool lips. I like it very much. I hope you can take the initiative again in the future. A little, that would be better. Mo Shixiu was stunned for a moment, then closed his eyes and responded to her kiss softly. Both of them are just trying it out. After they separated, he pressed her forehead against hers and said in a slightly hoarse voice, "Okay. I will become whatever you like me to be." Zhang Luli's eyes were still a little blurry. She felt that this man Mo Shixiu really made her more and more attracted to him. The longer you stay with him, the more this man's charm becomes apparent. She was becoming more and more attracted to him. Any woman who meets a man like Mo Shixiu would be hard-pressed not to be tempted. Because he is really, really good. She felt how lucky she was to meet him and marry him. God did not give her happiness in some aspects, but he compensated her in another way. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1884. Chapter 1884. I will never let you down in this life. Give her the best husband in the world. She feels very happy now. She has a new family, a husband who loves her, and soon, she will have a lovely baby. Getting married and having children at this age is not her plan. But now, she really likes this accident. Mo Shixiu. Zhang Luli leaned into Mo Shixiu's arms and called him softly. Yes. Mo Shixiu lowered his head and waited for her to speak with gentle eyebrows. Zhang Luli reached out and held his face. Will you always be so kind to me? Yes. Mo Shixiu answered without hesitation. Will not change. Won't. Then if one day you don't like me anymore? There won't be such a day. Mo Shixiu interrupted her. Loli, you don't need to worry about these things. It's me who should worry, not you. What are you worried about? Mo Shixiu was silent for a moment, and then said after a few seconds, I am just as worried as you. Are you worried that I won't like you one day? Zhang Luli. She didn't know that he would still have such worries. She thought it was just her worry. After all, the conditions between them are too different. His conditions are too good, but hers are too bad. Then you don't need to worry about these things. Zhang Luli held his face and said, because such a day will definitely not happen. She only knew that her feelings for him were getting deeper and deeper. I like him more and more. Mo Shixia was stunned for a moment. A smile appeared on the man's handsome eyebrows, and a gentle smile overflowed from his eyes. Can I understand this to mean that you like me now? Of course Zhang Luli's eyes did not dodge, and he looked at the man in front of him steadily. Mo Shixiu, are you stupid? If I didn't like you, would I marry you? Although I am you are not willing to marry someone just because of their looks. The man's eyes became gentler and more affectionate. Luoli, he called Zhang Luli's name softly, held one of her hands, and solemnly promised, I will be good to you, and I will never let you down in this life. Well, I believe you. The corner of Zhang Luli's mouth rose sweetly, and she made a promise to him, Mo Shixiu, I will also be kind to you. If you don't let me down, I will never let you down in this life. But if you betray me, I will definitely leave you. I will leave without hesitation and never look back in this life. Even if her heart turns into shards of glass, she will leave without hesitation. Her emotional world is very small and cannot tolerate the slightest betrayal. Asterisk. Having eaten, Chiao Mian took Mo Yesi for a walk around the town. It's getting late. Let's go back now and you can pack your things and leave. Mo Yesi mentioned the matter of taking her away again. Mo Yesi, I really want to stay and continue participating in this show. Chiao Mian decided to have a good talk with Mo Yesi. She still wanted to fight for it again. She didn't want to leave just like that. Can I not follow? Are you going back? I promise, nothing dangerous will happen again. Can you just let me stay here? I really don't want to leave like this. She looked at him pitifully, and her voice was also pitiful. Mo Yesi, you are the best. Just let me stay, okay? End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1885. Chapter 1885. I will only compromise this time. I can really protect myself. What happened this time was an accident and will never happen again. Mo Yesi pursed his lips and looked a little unhappy. So, you have made up your mind not to go back with me. It's not that I won't go back with you, but that I have signed a contract for this show, so I have to be responsible for this show. If I just leave so casually, the filming of those days will be invalid. This is to the show team. It's irresponsible and wastes everyone's time. Even if I go back with you and choose another variety show to record, there's no guarantee that other accidents won't happen. Chiao Mian felt that Mo Yesi was raising her like a flower in the greenhouse. He was too nervous about her. She knew it was because he cared about her. But caring too much sometimes makes her feel a little stressed. Just like now. He insisted on taking her away. Because he felt it was dangerous for her to stay here. But Chiao Mian doesn't think so. She believed that Chen Lao had been arrested and would not be released in a short time. And the crew has also strengthened security, and the same thing will definitely not happen again. So, you just won't come with me, right? The man's face was sullen, his voice was sullen, and he was obviously angry. Chiao Mian was silent for a while, took a deep breath and said, well, I have no plans to leave. I want to stay and continue recording the show. She knew that Mo Yesi would definitely be angry, but she also had her own opinion. There are some things she wants to decide on her own. Mo Yesi's face really turned bad. The man lowered his face and pursed his lips, as if suppressing something. Just when Chiao Mian thought he might be angry and turn around and leave, she heard him say something like a compromise, okay, you can stay. Chiao Mian was stunned for a moment, then looked at him in surprise, do you agree that I stay? Mo Yesi's face was still calm, and he still had an unhappy expression. He looked at her and said, if I don't agree, will you come with me? Chiao Mian was silent. I can let you stay and continue recording the show, but it's not completely unconditional. Then what conditions do you have? Say what you say. Chiao Mian felt that everyone should give in. Since Mo Yesi took a step back, she should also take a step back now. As long as the request he made was not unacceptable, she would agree. If any accident happens again, you should stop recording the program immediately and go back immediately. As long as it happens again, I don't care whether you want it or not, whether you blame me or not, I will take you back even if it is forced. Chiao Mian, this is my bottom line. I will only compromise this once. Good. Chiao Mian also agreed simply, nodded and said, I promise you. Remember what you promised me. Mo Yesi pursed his lips, silently thinking that he married his wife, and no matter what, he must kneel down and dote on her. He reached out and pulled the little woman beside him into his arms. Pinched her chin and said domineeringly, one more time, you must go back with me. If you don't leave, I will knock you out and carry you away. Chiao Mian. Knocked out and carried away? This is too terrible. However, he finally won't force her to leave. Chiao Mian felt much more relaxed. She took the initiative to hold his arm, leaned against him like a little bird, and said in a soft voice, okay, I understand. You don't need to knock me out when the time comes, I will go back on my own. Yes. I heard that there is a marriage tree in this town, which is said to be very effective. How about we go over and take a look? End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1886. Chapter 1886. Remove Songke. She has a day off today anyway. Chiao Mian wanted to relax. Marriage tree. Yes, that marriage tree has been growing for more than 100 years. It's very effective to go there and make a wish. Anyway, it's okay, let's go over and have a look. Mo Yesi didn't believe this at first. But even if he was superstitious, he was willing to take this trip if it could make his relationship with Chiao Mian more stable and firm. Okay, he looked down at Chiao Mian leaning on his shoulder with a look of dependence on his face, talking to him in a soft voice. His heart suddenly softened, and a little smile appeared on his face. Then let's go now, just go over there. Chiao Mian hooked his slender fingers, held his hand and shook it playfully. Well, let's go. On a small building next to it. On the position of the window on the second floor, Miyazawa looked at the two people who slowly gone away with their hands and looked at the two fingers, and their eyes were gloomy. The breath on his body suddenly became cold, startling the people sitting opposite him. The man asked anxiously and cautiously, Mr. Gong, is there something wrong with the reception that makes you dissatisfied? Gong Zili slowly withdrew his gaze. He said with a gloomy look, have you done what I asked you to do? The person on the other side immediately replied respectfully, I will do what Mr. Gong asked me to do as soon as possible. Please don't worry, Mr. Gong, he will not come out again. That's good, Gong Zili said with a ruthless look in his eyes, let the people inside take good care of him. Yes. The waiter brought the dishes they ordered, and as soon as they were placed on the table, Gong Zili stood up. The person on the opposite side was stunned for a moment, and then immediately stood up. Gong Zili was standing, how dare he sit down again? He said cautiously, Mr. Gong, what are you? Miyazawa replayed the scene he just saw in his mind again. Such a scene was like a thorn in his heart, which would sting him whenever he took a breath. He didn't want to think about it, but he couldn't help but think about it. Like self-abuse, he replayed that scene over and over again in his mind. He turned and left without saying a word. The people beside him were stunned and wanted to catch up, but after thinking about it, they didn't dare to catch up. Asterisk. When the chief director of this episode of The Meaning of Travel received the notice, he said angrily at first, "Replace Songke. Do you know how much impact the temporary replacement of guests will have on the show? This means that all the filming in these days it has to be cancelled." This seriously delayed the work progress of the program team and also delayed the work progress of all the guests. Do you know how much the various losses involved are? If there is no reason that can absolutely convince me, I will never agree. After a while, the chief director's expression changed little by little. What? President Mo? Is this what he meant? Okay, I understand. I will have someone notify Songke right away. After hanging up the phone, the chief director was still immersed in the shock just now, and it took him a long time to come back to his senses. She is the chief director of The Meaning of Travel. She has the greatest say in every guest selection. So even when she knew that it was the director of the station who asked to remove Songke, she did not immediately agree. The temporary removal of a guest would have a huge impact on the entire program. She would not agree to it if it were not for special circumstances. When she knew that this was what President Mo meant, and that Mr. Mo had bought the rights to play The Meaning of Travel, she was shocked for a long time. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1887. Chapter 1887 Change Now? Because she didn't expect that the person who asked for Songke's removal would be the president of the Mo family. Even if she disagrees with it, Songke must be removed. Because no one can offend the Mahists. A small TV station would even dare not do so. No matter whether Mo Yesi's request is reasonable or not, they must do what he asks. The chief director was just about to call the employees below and ask them to notify Songke, when his cell phone rang again. "It's the same person who just called me." The people over there said a few more words, and the director's eyebrows wrinkled. "What, change the filming location? Change it now?" "No, we have all arranged the shooting in advance. We haven't prepared anything yet. How can we suddenly change the place? Where should we change? Don't think that it will happen one by one. Isn't this embarrassing?" After a while, the chief director's face showed a look of shock again. "Okay, I understand. I will make arrangements right away." Call ended. The chief director has not yet fully recovered from the shock just now. She was still surprised by what she had just learned. She said, "Well, why did Songke suddenly have to be withdrawn?" She was just informed that the filming had to be moved to another location. It turns out that everything is because of the newbie named Xiao Mian. Mo Yesi turned out to be her boyfriend. Songke was removed because the rumor that Xiao Mian was raped by Chen Lauer was most likely done by Songke. The change of location for filming was also related to Chen Lauer. Even though Chen Lauer has been arrested, Mo Yesi feels that this remote mountain village is not safe and is not willing to let his girlfriend stay here anymore. Everyone knows that changing places temporarily is a troublesome thing. Not only will it delay the progress of the entire program team, but it will also cost a lot of money. But this was Mo Yesi's request, and even their station director did not dare to refuse, and all the expenses were borne by Mo Yesi himself. Many people said that the boyfriend Xiao Mian had was unreliable, and the two of them would definitely not last long. After all, one is a newcomer in the entertainment industry and the other is a young master from a wealthy family. Their identities do not match. Most of the men treat her just for fun, and when the novelty is no longer there, they will change her. But as a woman, the chief director was a little envious of Xiao Mian at this time. "Since we take it so seriously, it's just a matter of fun. Even if we separate in the future, at least I really dote on her now." Asterisk. When Song K was informed of the termination of her cooperation with The Meaning of Travel, she reacted greatly. The program team decided to cancel my guest qualifications. Why? Who made this decision? Why should the cooperation be cancelled? Seeing how excited she was, the staff hurriedly explained, "Miss Song, this is what our chief director meant." She said that after a few days of filming, she felt that Miss Song was not very suitable for our program. Of course, we broke the contract first. Miss Song can ask us to pay liquidated damages later. My message has been conveyed. If Miss Song has any other questions, you can ask our chief director. After the staff finished speaking, they left. Song K stood in the room with an ugly face. How can she accept leaving the show now? Being able to be on this variety show is an opportunity that she has spent a lot of effort to win. This is a great opportunity for her to become popular. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1888. Chapter 1888, Just Wish Yourself Well. Suddenly, she was informed that the program team had unilaterally terminated her contract. She would never accept it just like that. She was just about to go to the chief director to ask for clarification when her cell phone rang. It was called by her financial sponsor. Song K picked up the call immediately, and before her sponsor could say anything, she started to cry aggrievedly, "Dear, I've been bullied. Oh, 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 you must make the decision for me. You idiot, did I warn you over and over again not to offend Xiao Mian? Song K, did you turn a deaf ear to my words? You stupid woman, just commit suicide. You still caused me a lot of trouble. You still had the nerve to tell me that you were being bullied. Usually I just turn a blind eye when you cause trouble everywhere, but I can't mess with who I am. Damn it, don't you have any idea in your mind? If you want to die, die by yourself, don't hold me back." Song K felt happy when she saw the funder calling. She also wanted to complain to the funder and ask the funder to help her solve the problem. Unexpectedly, the financial owner actually scolded her in the face. Song K has never been scolded like this by her sponsor. She became very favored after joining her sponsor, who almost always responded to her requests. I have never said a harsh word to her. This was the first time she was scolded by a financial sponsor, and she was scolded so badly that she was a little confused by the scolding. I didn't come back to my senses for a long time. Dear. Shut up, the financial owner rushed angrily and scolded her again, "You bastard, you are causing big trouble for me now. Don't call me again in the future. I will follow you, you have nothing to do with it." Dear, what's wrong with you? The benefactor's attitude made Song K panic all of a sudden. If even her benefactor ignored her, what would she do in the future? You still have the nerve to ask me what's wrong? The financial owner roared at her even more angrily, "Because of you being the bumbling star, now my company is in trouble. The woman of President Mose is the bumbling star like you. Can you afford it? It's Xiao Mian. Has she found out about that matter? That's why the program team suddenly cancelled cooperation with her?" Thinking of this, Song K had a look of panic on his face. "My dear, please don't ignore me. I know I was wrong, I know I was wrong now. I will never mess with Xiao Mian again. It's too late. I've told you so much, have you listened? Now you've offended others, and you've got me into trouble. I can't even protect myself because of you, the broom star. I can still manage you. Just wish yourself well." After the funder finished speaking angrily, he hung up the phone. Song K's face turned pale as he listened to the disconnection sound on his cell phone. Even her sponsor refused to care about her anymore and hurriedly wanted to put aside the relationship with her. She suddenly remembered what Jiao Angzhen said before. If she offends Xiao Mian, she will be banned. Although she has not been officially banned yet, she is already panicking. Her sponsor no longer cares about her, and she has been removed from the show. If she is really banned in the future, it is basically impossible to have a chance to come back. This is a devastating blow to artists. Song K was so frightened that there was no trace of blood on his face when he thought about this terrible consequence. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1889. Chapter 1889. The director said the filming was not possible here. She doesn't want to be blocked, she doesn't want to quit the entertainment industry. She managed to get to where she is now with great difficulty. She soon realized that if she wanted to stay in the entertainment industry, there was only one way. She must get Jiao Mianmian's forgiveness. If Jiao Mianmian can forgive her, she will not be banned. Asterisk. There can't be any secrets hidden within the same program group. Soon, most people knew that Song K was removed and a guest would be replaced to replace her. Sumufei, Zanbo, and the others naturally knew about it. What's going on? Why was Song K suddenly replaced? Did she have something to do? Sumufei had a simple mind and hadn't thought of some things yet. But Jiao Angzhen and Zhanbo basically guessed the reason. Song K definitely didn't want to leave because of his own reasons. The program team cannot change the original guests without any reason, unless there is a reason why they have to change. As soon as Jiao Mianmian's boyfriend came over, Song K was removed. The reason for this is not difficult to guess. After Jiao Angzhen heard about this incident, she didn't know how happy she was. Song K, that woman who doesn't know her own abilities, would be better off if she left. Xiao Xiao also guessed the reason. Song K will be replaced, which is not surprising. That man is the president of MO Group. It is easy to replace a small artist on the show. She was almost hidden in the ice at first. But after this incident, she understood better that Jiao Mianmian was the person she could not offend. Otherwise, she will be the next person to leave. Xiao Xiao has not had any works recently and needs a lot of exposure. The reason why she participated in this show is that she hopes to regain her previous popularity through the show. I don't know Jiao Angzhen knew the reason, but pretended to be as innocent as Sumufei. It must be something happened when he was suddenly replaced. Just ask Song K. A few people were talking when Zhao Yuan walked in from outside. Looking at a group of them standing in the yard, Zhao Yuan was stunned for a moment, then stepped forward happily and said, "They are all here, so I don't have to call you one by one. I am here to inform you of something." Everyone thought he was going to talk about Song K leaving, but they didn't expect that he was talking about something else. Today's shooting will end here temporarily, giving you half a day off. You must be very tired these days, so take a good rest. Tomorrow we will change the location to shoot. You put your things away at night and go to bed early. Tomorrow morning gather at 9 o'clock to go to the airport. As soon as Zhao Yuan finished speaking, everyone had expressions of surprise and surprise. Shenfei frowned and asked directly, "Change the location to shoot? Does that mean we have to fly to another city tomorrow?" Yes. Zhao Yuan looked at everyone's reaction, stretched out his hand to touch his nose, lowered his voice and coughed softly. The director said that the filming here is not possible, and there is not much material to shoot. So we moved to another place. And, this is actually good news for you. The conditions where we are going tomorrow are much better than here, so you won't have to work so hard and it will be much easier. Even though he said it so well, a group of people were still confused. Why do we suddenly have to change the filming location? Didn't the contract we signed say that this episode will be filmed here? Didn't I just say that the director felt that there wasn't enough material to shoot here? End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1890. Chapter 1890. Let them enjoy it, right? I couldn't finish filming one episode of the program. And the things that came out weren't very good either. That's why we decided to change places temporarily. Everyone should believe in the director's ability. She must have made such a decision with the mentality of doing a good job in this program. The ratings of each episode of The Meaning of Travel are the ratings of all TV stations in the same time period. Champion. Our goal is to make the best show, the most exciting show, so the director strives for excellence. I mean, everyone understands that. Zhao Yuan kept talking, and even he believed this rhetoric. Others naturally believed it too. For them, this is not unacceptable, and Zhao Yuan just said that other shooting locations have much better conditions than here. If this is really the case, then they would still be happy to change the filming location. Brother Zhao, where are we going tomorrow? Sumuafei was more interested in this matter. Anyway, as long as he is not asked to continue to work any task, he will be fine with everything. Go to Weihai tomorrow. Weihai, several other people were stunned, with surprised expressions on their faces. The new shooting location is in Weihai? Is it in a town or village below Weihai? If you don't go anywhere else, just stay in Weihai. Zhao Yuan thought that the program team wanted to arrange for them to go to a village again. After all, the previous episodes of the program were all shot in the village. Judging from the ratings, viewers like to see celebrities going to the countryside to do farm work and suffer hardship, so they have followed the same route in these episodes. After all, such a route is safe and can guarantee ratings. But now, the superiors have told us that guests can no longer be sent to the village. It is also not allowed to shoot with the theme of making the guests suffer. When Zhao Yuan was informed of the new shooting location, he thought he had heard wrong. Because the new shooting location is not only not in a village with poor conditions, but also arranged in a tourist city. The place where the guests live is also very good. It is a villa area in a tourist attraction, which is a high consumption place. Of course, this will not be arranged by the program team themselves. You must know that the one-night accommodation fee for a villa in that villa area is more than 100,000 yuan. Their crew went over and stayed for almost 20 days. The program team would not be so generous and spend millions to let them live there. The most important thing is that the theme of their shooting is to make the guests suffer. How can it be hard for guests to live in a villa worth hundreds of thousands a night? Let them enjoy it. Zhao Yuan felt that such an arrangement was unreasonable, and the director was naturally very reluctant. There is nothing we can do. The director said that this was the intention of President Mo's. The accommodation fees, air tickets for everyone in the program team, and lost wages for these days will be reimbursed by Mo's group, and the program team will not suffer any losses. This matter is definitely a good thing for the guests. But it stumped the director. Because the director didn't even know how to shoot it? Zhao Yuan looked at the surprised and puzzled expressions of several people, and simply said to them all, the filming location is in Weihai, and your place of residence is at Ludao Manor. By then, you will all live in a villa. The villa has 4 floors, which is enough for 10 of you. Everyone was startled again. After turning their heads and looking at each other for a few seconds, Sumuafei asked in disbelief, Brother Zhao, you didn't lie to us, did you? Let us live in a villa. End of this chapter.